Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we have a little concealer video where we are going to test out two brand new medium coverage natural finish concealers. That's the request I get from you guys the most. Can I recommend a medium natural finish? I sure can. We have two of them we're going to look at today. We're going to look at the brand new Milk Makeup Future Fluid All Over Medium Coverage Hydrating Concealer. That's a mouthful. And this is a little bit of a shorter title, the Vieve Modern Radiance Concealer. Okay, we're going to talk about both of them. We're going to put them on my concealer spectrum. If you don't know what that is, I'll explain it to you quickly in a moment. And yes, do not adjust your screen. If you have very, very eagle-sharp eyes, you might notice that I am wearing different concealers on one on each side of my face. And while we are at it today, we are also going to look at the Modern Powder Perfector, also from Vieve. So we're going to talk about all of these things, and I'm going to explain my little concealer spectrum to you and why I like to say I invented it. Kind of think I did. Okay, so first of all, the Milk Makeup Future Fluid All Over Medium Coverage Hydrating Concealer is $29 and comes in 30 shades. I picked up two shades. For under the eye, I went with the 4N, and for the rest of the face, I went with the 7NW, but it does come in 30 shades. As I said, $29 each. Promises to be lightweight and crease proof, but I have never heard of a concealer that doesn't promise that. This one's heavy and creases. You know, we don't generally hear that. If they know that about their product, they're certainly not going to say it, right? Okay, now when we talk about concealers, there's two different looks. Both of them are very in still. A lot of people like to do a lighter concealer under the eyes just to brighten the eye area, and then a kind of more on-tone skin for the rest of the face, or even something with some color correcting possibilities for the rest of the face. You can really change around how you do the base of your complexion with concealer. Again, going dead on to the skin tone just to camouflage everything, or having it go a little bit more orange to kind of camouflage darkness, or yellow to hide some redness, or pinker to brighten. There's all sorts of fun things you can do. It's not just your mother's concealer anymore. So in this shade, like you see, I bought a brightening and a rest of the face. The other way to do a concealer look is much simpler, and I went ahead and did that with the Vieve product. This is the Vieve Modern Radiance product. It is a $29 concealer also, so we're really comparing apples to apples here. It comes in 20 shades, and I bought the medium 1 neutral. That's about right. And I just bought this shade. So in the milk, and you might even be seeing that because I'll tell you right now, this is the milk side. I did a brightening under eye and then the same color as my face. And here I just did one concealer color all over to make it more uniform. And that really is a look preference. That really is how you like it to look. We're also, as I told you, going to talk about the $38 Modern Powder Perfector, and I got shade light, but this comes in 4 shades. This is also a natural matte and can be applied, with a brush, a fluffy brush, or a sponge. It's a really, really pretty compact, and it comes like that with a little mirror. Looks lovely in and out of your bag. Both of these products apply with a doe foot applicator. The Vieve has a real Tom Ford feel to it, doesn't it? Kind of the way it's packaged. I mean, how many ways are there to package a concealer? But it's got a nice big doe foot, and the big doe foot usually is an indicator with the Milk product as well that you are encouraged to kind of use it all over the face. Maybe in a kind of a no makeup day, you could put it on almost spot conceal and then brush out and blend almost to take the place of foundation. I am wearing foundation today, but the reason the Milk's full name is All Over Medium Coverage is these do encourage you to go ahead and just put them on and maybe use a wet sponge and blend them in, and then no foundation. I am wearing the Haus Labs foundation today. Speaking of also what I am wearing, for those of you that are enlisted in my Cool Tone Revolution Army, yes, we have a group of people here on this channel that are waiting for cool tones to take over. They feel that it's coming, and they are waiting for the day, and they are watering their horses and making pots of beans and assembling and setting up their tents and waiting to march Okay, maybe it's not that extreme, but that is how my head paints it. And we call them the Cool Tone Revolution Army. You may ask to be a member here and even give yourself your own ranking. We're pretty loosey-goosey about it. But there are many of you that will self-identify as being in that Cool Tone Revolution Army. And for you, I am wearing a full eye look today of the Cool Tone Tarte Holiday Drop palette. It got a little bit of short shrift in my Tarte Holiday palette review, but I am wearing the full Cool Tone Glamour palette look from Tarte on the eyes today for my Cool Tone Revolution Army enlistees and officers. Okay, let's talk about where to put these concealers on the spectrum. I noticed, I'm going to explain this really quickly, so if you've been with my channel for a while, I am sorry if this is boring, you've heard this before. I have found in my years, it's been quite a few years, of reviewing makeup professionally, it is tough to recommend a concealer. Because people like with concealer a specific texture. It's not like lipstick where I like a matte as long as it's comfy, and I like a gloss as long as my hair doesn't get stuck. And you know, we all have specifics, but with concealer, we tend to be very specific. And if I love it, and you love, the one you love is another complete texture or thickness or richness, then you won't like my recommendation. So the way I recommend concealers is by a concealer spectrum. On one side of the spectrum, we have the thicker concealers. For instance, Pat McGrath, KVD Good Apple concealers. I do not like these. You have to use them very sparingly, and you have to really shear them out. Sparingly is not my middle name. I have trouble with these. They cake on me. Those of you who absolutely love them, you will never like anything on the other side. But concealer people we don't really change our concealer sides. What I tend to use to represent the lightest side of the concealer shade is the Armani Power Fabric, which has always been my favorite concealer. But I do have to tell you that there have been some release that might shake up my spectrum a little bit. The brand new Too Faced concealer, what is this? Is this Born This Way? No, what is it? Yeah, Born This Way. Ethereal Light concealer is lighter coverage than Armani, as is the Liss, the Say, which I didn't bring out. Some of these are getting to be so thin that you have to put so much of them on. Here's another Dior. This new Dior is really light. Do you remember this Clinique? I actually liked this one. Is this the one with the brush? No, this one isn't, this is the doe foot. But some of these are really light. This Milk one, they are so light that you have to build them and build them and build them and build them, and they're actually for people who don't need concealer. But they want to sell you a concealer, but you don't need one. So I still use Armani as the light end of the spectrum, but there are concealers that are even lighter. This Too Faced is so light, it's like putting water on your face. I mean, it builds up nicely, but I admit even it's lighter than the Armani. So that's my concealer spectrum. If you love Pat McGrath, you won't like Armani Power Fabric. That's basically the idea behind it. So where do these guys go? These new ones are really firmly in the middle, light to medium side, right in the middle, nudging towards lighter. They join like the Lancome Tinty Doll, the Dior Forever Skin Corrector. Those are all kind of medium as well. Now, what about the new Charlotte Tilbury concealer? I didn't bring that out, but the new Charlotte Tilbury concealer is right in the middle as well, but it's radiant. And I have recommended that. I really like the new Charlotte Tilbury concealer. I don't recommend it to a ton of people because some people don't like the radiant quality to it. Some people even say that once the shade is gone, they see gold flecks. And that could be a dangerous category for disco under the eyes. I love it, but it's radiant. These two that we're looking at today are firmly in the middle of the concealer spectrum. I like it. I'm going more towards the middle because, as I told you, my Armani all the way here on the thin side is starting to inch this way with some of these new releases. So I am definitely towards the middle now. I still can't stand that side, the Pat McGrath, the KVD Good Apple. That stuff's just way too thick for me. If you can vary a little bit, you will be very happy in the middle. And a natural finish is really nice because you can do whatever you want with it. You can put a highlighter over it if you want, a blush over it. You can do anything you want because it is so natural finish, and the medium coverage allows it to build, or one coat. I'm just I'm telling you that as the years go on, I just really like medium natural finish. We are now going to go to me coming back. We are going to do a wear test. I'm going to come back with nothing on my face but the Haus Labs foundation. And we're going to do one side and one side. And I'm going to put you to work to ask you which one you prefer. Of course, I have to do that. And then we're going to do a little bit of a wear test. So stay right there. Okay, let's put these head to head. I have been working with these concealers because they've been in my possession for a while now, but I haven't compared them. So let's try it. We'll give this side to Milk and this side to Vieve, and then we will try the Vieve powder as well since we're here. Now, as I told you, we went really light, we being me and the lady at Sephora who I worked with. We went really light on this for under the eyes. We just decided that would be good. So here's where I tend to put my concealer and then I connect it. And we're just doing this side of the face with the Milk, and then we got a little bit more of a skin color shade that will do the rest of my face, because remember, this is what Milk is calling an all-over concealer. All concealers are all over, but they're saying that the wide doe foot makes it a little bit easier to just kind of apply almost like a foundation. So now I'm kind of polka dotted, and I do have two separate brushes to use so that we don't contaminate. Both are Sonia G from the Fusion collection. I am wearing, you should know, the Haus Labs new foundation, so that's also a medium coverage foundation. So we are definitely all kind of mediumed out. With that lighter concealer under the eye, and it really is going to brighten, you'll see, I just connect it, and I also put it onto the lid because I am a lazy bee, and that way I can use it to kind of as a primer, which is, like I said, a little bit lazy. They do make eye primers that would probably work better, but for my purposes and generally the neutral looks that I do, okay? And I did put that pretty much, I took them at their word and did an all-over look. Okay, so you can definitely see that I have a lot of concealer on this side of my face. It looks, I almost look like I'm wearing one of those half masks, Phantom of the Opera masks. And now let's try the Vieve. Boy, can you see, look at how much brighter under my eyes this side is, with nothing on this side except for foundation. Okay, so the Vieve, I just got one color, one shade, I should say. I usually have not been doing a brighter shade under the eye. With the Milk, I thought it would be fun. I was in store, but I have just been kind of, for the most part, just doing one shade. Let's polka dot this one too, why not? And we will switch brushes to another clean Sonia G Fusion brush. This one much more of a size for kind of an under eye concealer. I liked the bigger one. I don't want to contaminate, but I liked the bigger. This is a better shade, isn't it? Because it does that whole face look that I was kind of going for, polka dotting and everywhere. Whereas the smaller brush is really kind of for more precise concealing. And I wouldn't call what I'm doing right here very precise. Okay. So both of these are kind of a medium natural finish, not kind of, they are. Okay, so interesting. I actually think I like the Vieve side better. And this is kind of fun for me because I haven't been comparing them. And I haven't put them head to head until now. I think this side looks a little more natural. The shade matches a little better. Maybe this side, definitely this side, the under eye is brighter. I don't know that I like it as much. But we really are comparing apples to apples here. These are both very natural finish medium concealers. Now, I admit to you that I'm not really much of a powder person. Some people have 20 different powders and the bulk of their time doing their makeup is in applying their powders. That's never going to be me. I am just not a powder person, but lately I am enjoying powdering underneath the eye because I do find that it keeps things from creasing. So let's go ahead and use this Vieve powder, and we'll use it on both sides. And I tend to also powder kind of over the eye as well, and everything is then just set for the day. We can powder the rest of the face also. And we will be giving this a wear test. I am doing a members only live, so we'll be able to see how this sets as well. I'm now going to use just a big fat little rougher brush, and we'll just powder everywhere and just set all the makeup. Usually I would use the Haus Labs powder since I'm using the Haus Labs foundation, but since we are testing this out, we will give it a test. Okay, so before I go finish the rest of my makeup, just to remind you, you can see a difference still, if you notice. We have on this side the brand new Milk concealer, brighter shade, more face colored shade on the rest of my face, and then one shade on the Vieve. I have been preferring the one shade look a little bit, but I'll be really curious to hear what you guys think. Let me put on the rest of my makeup and you will see me film the intro, I'm sorry, right with brand new makeup on. But the segment after this will have given it quite a few hours of wear. Let's see what happens with the powder on it too. I have worn the Milk without powder and the Vieve without powder, so I can also report on that when we get back. We're back. We've had a wear test, and for full transparency, I have just reapplied my Maracuja lip product from Tarte, and that's all that I have reapplied. Everything else has been on for 4 hours. And if I have concealer that's going to crease on me, it'll generally do it in the first hour. So for me, with concealers, 4 hours is a pretty good test. Plus, I have been indeed playing with these concealers for a while now. So let's take a look at how we're faring here. This side is the Vieve with powder, and this side is the brand new Milk with the Vieve powder, because, you know, why not? These are both very, very good medium consistency, natural finish concealers. And it's funny because somebody asked me just particularly about that the other day. And that indeed these are. I think they're pretty good head to head. I prefer the shade that I purchased in the Vieve, which is funny because I didn't do that in store anywhere. I just ordered and it was a pig and a poke. And I do personally like the look more of a uniform look, including under the eyes, whereas with the Milk, I did do the kind of under eye brightening look, and a lot of people prefer that. There's nothing wrong with that. I would love to know what side you guys prefer. This side certainly is brighter. Both products are wonderful. It really have a lot of variation in how you choose the product, and if you are choosing it to conceal, to highlight, to brighten, but also a lot of people will kind of contour a little bit. I don't get that tricky. I pretty much just cover up some discoloration and kind of want the eyes to look a little bit smoother. The powder is very, very nice. I don't see any difference between this powder and other really nice powders that I have, including the new Charlotte Tilbury brightening powder. I'm really liking under the eyes, and I also very much like the Haus Labs powder, and they're kind of on a par with this. This travels nicely, it looks really pretty in your bag, but if you are enjoying a particular powder that you have for under the eyes or for setting your makeup right now, I don't see this one as setting the world on fire, but if you don't have one you love, it's a good one to try, as I found this very satisfactory experience, and I mean that in the best way. So these are very, very good products. And for me, lately, I'm leaning more and more towards this medium coverage. The lighter the things get, I still love my Armani, but the lighter they get, the Say, the Milk, the Too Faced, the most recent Too Faced, they're almost getting to be too light for me, too much building. So I'm really going towards light medium to medium. So these products, both the Milk and the Vieve, really float my boat. And if you are looking for a natural finish medium, you can't really go wrong with either of these. So pick the one that you feel you can get the most easily. You know, for the Vieve, I had to order from overseas, so Milk is easier to get. Depends where you are in the world. Both absolutely lovely medium concealers, but I would love to know your thoughts on which side of my face you prefer. Remember, this is Milk, brightening, and then shade of the face, and this is Vieve, one shade only, with, of course, the light powder over the top, but that's just a skin tone match is all that is. All right, so let me know your thoughts in comments below, please. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. Hey, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. It costs nothing, but it helps me get the word out for my channel. But I would love to see you guys over on Instagram and, of course, TikTok as well. Don't forget the Super Thanks opportunity, and we do have a membership. I actually just did a membership live a little earlier today. So if you are interested in anything like that or fun behind the scenes perks, make sure that you join our membership. But I'd love to see you any way that you appear, and certainly in the next video. Bye-bye.